fucking thing sucks. We'll do it live.
Cruising with Steve. Get in, sit down, buckle up. Cruising with Steve. Get in, sit down, buckle up. Cruising with Steve.
Welcome back to Cruising with Steak. Here we are again, Tuesday night. Cruising with Steak live, Grimerica FM. We're joined tonight. Well, of course, I have James Cruz with me. James, what's up?
Surprise, motherfucker.
There he is on the soundboard, the ones and twos. Yeah. We got Jerry Cthulhu here.
Hello.
And we got Mr. Watcher here from Australia coming remotely. Yes, beautiful. And we're also joined by Leonidas.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, what's up? So, tonight I wanted to kind of talk about, Leo, you released a new movie today. New little movie short, House by the Video Store, called They Knock. And why don't you tell us a little bit about what They Knock is about?
They Knock is was inspired by the black eye kids, black eye children, demons, alien hybrids, whatever you want to call them, spirits from the unknown.
Oh man,
urban legend. I wanted to take a sort of different approach to this one. Obviously, the Black Eyed Kids stories have been around, floating around for quite a while. And there are a few Black Eyed Kid inspired films out there. Majority of them have very cliche endings to them. So I wanted to take something, take the concept and put a little twist towards the end. And that's what I did with this short film. And if you watch it, you might have to watch it a couple times, but there are quite a few Easter eggs in it.
Yeah, it's only 3 minutes, 33 seconds, which is pretty interesting. Let's go watch it a few times.
I watched it. It's shot really well. It's awesome.
Yeah, man.
Thanks, I appreciate it. This one is actually this. Originally, we had planned to shoot it last February, and I mean this short film has just been all kinds of crazy stuff has happened. Last year we couldn't shoot it because of scheduling conflicts, shot location conflicts. This year last year towards the end, I think it was October, is when we finally shot the film. And it started off with, I wanted to use a practical effect for the eyes. I didn't want to use CGI because CGI is just really cheap. I wanted to use something where it had really good reflection from the camera with the lighting effects.
Oh, look cool. Awesome.
So I decided to go with the contacts, but what I didn't realize is that the contacts I was looking for, which is the full iris contacts that covers the entire eye, are actually banned in the U.S. You can't get them.
Oh,
you can't
really?
go to any store. You can't get them locally or nothing. So I actually had to order them from the UK.
Wow.
Well, when I ordered them, I didn't realize they were being shipped from the UK, and apparently you had to pay extra to get the tracking information with it. So it was about a week before the shoot, and I already have everything scheduled. I already have the location locked down, and the contact lenses still haven't arrived in the mail. And I'm just like,
that's the biggest part.
I go back to my mail. I'm like, okay, was there a tracking number with this? No, I had no way to track this thing. So I had no idea where this package was. And I went to the site and I realized, like, holy crap, this is from the UK. And then people were talking about in the comments and the review section that their packages were seized at customs.
Oh.
And I was like, oh man. I was like, I really hope this thing arrives in my PO box in time for this shoot, because I cannot reschedule it. So finally, the day before the shoot, the freaking things come in the mail.
Oh man.
So that was one hurdle, one of many. So finally we got the contact lenses and it's like, okay, we're good to go. So as you know, with the Black Eye Kids legend, the stories and stuff, there's a lot of dread that surrounds these entities, these stories. And that's really true. Even with the film that we shot, the day of the shoot, they were scheduled to shoot everything. Justin, who's the younger actor in the film, his dog actually died that morning.
Jeez.
His dog passed away, the dog he's had since he was born. So,
Man.
it was the day started off pretty dreadful.
Yeah.
But kudos to him because he stuck with it and he went through the whole process on set like a champ, got everything done, knocked it out. We didn't get done till like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning.
Oh man.
And we had just the contacts. It took us like 2 hours to get both contacts in.
Oh my God.
For Taylor, who's the older actor in the film. And literally, we had one contact that popped in right away. The second one would not stick to his eyeball. So I'm literally underneath him, trying to help him, prying his eye open, trying to get this freaking contact in his eyeball.
God.
And everything is halted. We can't shoot because this is the shot that requires him to wear the contacts. So it's 2 hours into it. And anybody who's wore contacts before, you know that after a while it starts to, you have to keep it wet and all this other stuff, especially if
Moist.
it's full, covers the iris and everything. So finally we got this stupid contact in, and then we went ahead and we took the shot really quick because it was burning his eyes, and got it done. So we got done like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and then the whole editing process was an absolute nightmare. Everything, computers were crashing, timelines were moving around that we didn't touch.
Don't they have chroma key eye drops or something? Or tinted eye drops, which will turn your eyes green. You could do a chroma key against them. No?
I'm not sure. I don't know. These contacts were pretty expensive too. So,
Man, so everything was
I've
crashing.
seen similar ones at like Dragon Con or
those cosplayers.
Those
cosplayers
exactly.
know how to get it done.
Wherever you can find like fangs, you can find cool contacts.
So the original publication of the film was supposed to be Valentine's Day. Didn't happen. Everything, we were having problems with the exports. Nothing was going right. And it finally was pushed to today, which just so happens to be Supermoon Day.
Yeah, it's the winter supermoon or whatever. Super full moon.
And if I don't know if you're into like numerology and stuff, but
You better not fucking conjure any black-eyed kids with your
I was thinking of Trish about the date, the 2/19, 2019.
Yeah. 2019. Yeah, you're definitely gonna summon some kind of black-eyed kids into the universe. It's happening.
Well, I do have some black-eyed kid stories.
Let's hear some. This shit creeps me out. I like it.
I don't know I know James usually likes going through the list. I don't know if he had a listicle he wanted to hit real quick.
James is grounded from listicles.
You go first. Yeah, be my guest, man.
Well, I mean, the black-eyed kids it's nothing new. I mean, I'm pretty sure everyone's listening has heard about these entities. Now, they say the earliest sighting was from journalist Brian Bethel in 1996. Now, I would assume that
96? That's a fairly new phenomenon then.
Well, I was thinking, maybe that's because we had the internet. And perhaps prior to the internet, there was no way to report these sightings. So people, and back then everyone was superstitious. So no one probably wanted to even talk about it.
Maybe.
He wrote a book about it or something.
Who did?
Who wrote a book?
That reporter.
Brian Ethel.
That Bethel guy?
Yeah, I mean, it was reported in a magazine. I mean, it came out somewhere. It just wasn't the internet.
Yeah, I mean, they had ways of getting information around. I mean, there was Men in Black stories since the 60s and 50s.
Right. The point is that, like, it wasn't as widespread a phenomenon because not that many people heard about it.
That's true.
Right. So, and that goes to the question, are there more sightings because more people are talking about it?
It's that tulpa. It's manifesting.
Yeah, the tulpa effect. In 2014, a British paper reported that sightings of black-eyed kids around the world are rising. And of course, the different theories are vampires, alien, hybrids, demonic origin. The short film I made, I kind of left it open. You can it has a little bit of demonic feel to it on top of everything else. It could be alien hybrids. I know there's been stories, or I guess thought experiments about these things being some type of alien hybrid human mix because of the black eyes. I'm not sure, but I do have some stories recently posted on Reddit.
Gotta love Reddit.
Yeah.
About these encounters with these entities here. And of course, I've read other encounters about, I guess one that really stuck out the most to me was there was a woman who was grocery shopping. She left her young child in the car, which I don't recommend you doing. When she returned, she got into the car and she looked in the rearview mirror, and there was another child in the back seat, and it was one of these black-eyed kids.
Oh, jeez.
I guess her kid let this thing in, and she described feeling this sense of dread and terror and stuff. Obviously, if you get in your car and you see some pale small kid with black eyes, I'd be pretty scared shitless too. So, there was one posted here from Reddit, and this one is from actually a Pizza Hut manager.
Okay.
And this was posted on January 13th of this year. So he claims he was a non-believer, and this was his first encounter. So the story is, I'm a believer in many things paranormal, with black-eyed kids being one of the stories I thought was urban legend until early this morning. I'm an assistant manager of a Pizza Hut in my town, and my GM has me on late night shift, so he doesn't have to anymore. It was a little after 2 a.m., and around that time is when the external lights of the building cut off, leaving the parking lot almost pitch black. The driver and I were in the very back of the store finishing up dough prep and dishes as we normally do. I like to say that I am attuned to the paranormal since I have witnessed many things throughout my 21 years of existing on this planet. Now, some of the common themes with these stories are typically these encounters are with people who are sensitive, or they're some type of medium, or they're empaths or something like that, is what I gathered. So he continues, while we were in a conversation about cells and what to prep, I started to feel unnerved. I ignored it due to anxiety and stressing over a homeless man making a scene a couple hours prior to close. But the feeling didn't go away. So I made a patrol around the restaurant. I looked out of the front doors, and since the highway gives out front a little bit of light, there was nothing. I looked out the windows in the dining room, but still nothing. It wasn't until I decided to look out the drive-through window, and then I saw it. Standing about 3 yards away from the window was a girl in a dress, barely illuminated by the lights, and were still cooling down outside. She was pale and had hair that fell just past her shoulders. As an adult, my first thought was, what is that kid doing out in 34-degree weather in the pouring rain? But then our eyes met, and I saw that hers were... Please disregard the bad spelling here. I'm just reading verbatim. But then our eyes met, and I saw that hers were jet black color. I recoiled from the window and ran over to the safe to get my phone out of it. We have to keep our phones locked up during the business hours. Okay. And I don't have to have my phone glued to me 24/7. So I normally just leave it in there until I need it. By the time I got out and ran back to the drive-thru, she wasn't there, and I didn't see her again for the entire time we were there. I know the stories say that they come to the doors of the homes and try to get in as long as you don't invite them, and you are fine. But she just stood there and then vanished. I'm still on edge from the whole situation. The believer of the paranormal in me also makes me wonder if it could have been a spirit, which scares me even more. My first encounter with a demon was one that portrayed itself as a child, so who knows? I just had to post my story somewhere.
I had to kill that first baby of mine.
My girlfriend thinks I'm crazy, and my general manager, who also believes in such things, is now freaking out.
Dude.
Do you see how this is a mind virus?
Uh-huh.
You think?
I don't know. But why are they freaking out? These things have never been known to do any harm. They just freak people out.
Pretty much.
I think that could be referring to like the vampire that, they're energy vampires. They feed off the fear.
Right.
And
that very well may be. So don't be scared of them. Laugh at them.
It's a fear harvester. But now what I'm wondering is, I wonder if these black eyes, like the black eye contacts, they're made illegal in the States because there's some kind of secret kill, like automatic kill policy, that if they see anybody with black eyes, it's automatically a demon or some kind of something. Take it down.
Was this a FOIA request or something?
Maybe. It might be.
You get on a list.
Man.
So here's one theory.
I wish I was on a list.
Here's one theory someone posted on Reddit. They are self-replicating glitches in the Matrix, and their goal is to create fear. The fear creates needed conditions for the replication. That is the type of computations which allows more thinking about them, and thus allocating more resources for them from the central server. So they don't actually want to enter. They want you to fear that they will enter. The same way black eyes are not rendered mistakes, black eye kids need them to make you think that something is wrong and to start having the fear.
They feed off emotions.
Yeah, I got 10 facts. Black eyed kids.
10 facts.
Of course you do.
Let's hear 'em.
All right. Black eyed kids will look normal. They will look like normal human children between the ages of 6 and 16 with pale skin and completely black eyes, which we were just talking about. Additionally, people who have been in close proximity to the black-eyed kids report a feeling of unease that washed over them, while nothing about the children's appearance, aside from the eyes, generally frightened the people. They still reported feeling ranging from anxiety to terror. Yeah, I think it's just being around a kid or something, like in your presence. That might have a relation to that. Why is this kid knocking at my door or something, putting that fear in your head. Some people have reported that seeing black-eyed kids that have talons or feet or other demonic attributes. But mostly sightings are seemingly normal children. The BEK is what we call the BEKs are also commonly described as wearing dated clothing or dressing in a manner that is typically, not of the children of their age. But so like like a kid from the 60s with like some long socks and some short shorts and a book with a belt around, stack of books with a belt around them or something. You're going way back in the day. Oh man, let's see here. The earliest sightings, go back to 96, like you said. The story has been added to the internet creepypasta lore. But to this day, that Bethel insists that incident was real and it happened the way he reported it. In 2014, a British paper reported the sightings of black-eyed kids around the world are rising. Theories of the black-eyed kids that are, like you said, vampires, aliens, or demonic origin. So those are some facts.
I will say that I did have a dream not too long ago that I was actually a black-eyed person. And I went into this house and I terrorized this family. And it was from that perspective. Like I was running room to room and I could see everyone screaming when they saw me. And I looked into the mirror and I could see that I had black eyes. It's pretty intense.
Damn.
So that's another theory. What if it's something like some type of astral projection of your dark self, and you're projecting out there during this time frame? Because like a lot of times when people encounter these things, typically they happen late at night, between 1 and 3 o'clock in the morning, which is typically when most people in that specific area, regardless of time zone, are sleeping.
Could be.
There's been rare occasions of, like I said, like I mentioned earlier, the encounters during broad daylight, which I think would even be more terrifying to encounter something like that.
But then also, like, what would make you manifest in some kind of period piece, though? Like, I wonder if, how they're supposed to be in old-timey clothes or, like, a different, something like that. Like, would your complete appearance, if you were astral projectioning, would it just
maybe
change?
It's just your perspective of them. You project your astral self.
Because you think that ghosts are supposed to look like, or demons are supposed to be in old-timey clothes, so you put that...
Think about the ghost. What does the ghost feel like it's supposed to look like? So it's going to project that image. I think that's what Watcher was saying. So it's putting that in your head.
Yeah, I was just reading one on here that said every story I've read about them is from someone who had already known about them. So it kind of, like you're saying, it gets put in your head. So then you read about this, and then the next thing might happen to you, if something comes to your door or in a dream, you might be projecting that like you said, that astral image, or just food for thought, I guess. I don't know.
Food for thought, projecting that astral image.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, and a lot of these people, which I totally never discount anyone's experiences or stories. I know there's a lot of fake ones out there, but I do understand a lot of people have genuine experiences, interactions with something. And I think what connects all of them together are the fact that they all seem to have, according to their own stories, their own description, is they all have some type of, they already have a connection to the spirit realm, or they're a medium, or they practice witchcraft or something like that. So, but there have been stories of people who don't have that type of connection, maybe because they don't know they have that, or they just deny it. And, but as you said, they have heard about them before in the past.
Yeah, here's one. I was having a visceral experience all over my body. I'd be lying if I told you I didn't know about the black-eyed kids before this happened to me. Late summer last year, I definitely did. Now, in the moment, I never did cross my mind, but afterward, hell yeah. And then that thought led to all kinds of regret. I realize is stupid, but I am getting ahead of myself. Let me tell you about it. My neighborhood. I live in the poor part of town, a big ghetto, a bit of the barrio, a bit of the lower economic class section. Were we just talking about that section of races? It's L.A. The apartment complex spans a short block. It's dusty brown like the desert that we live in. It's got 2 pools, lots of little Mexican children, and for the most part, a pretty friendly population. I am a destitute writer trying to make it in Hollywood. Oh, great! There you go. Spending my free time writing. When this happened, I was working mostly in the mornings and afternoons. I would get home and hit the gym, and then sit in front of the computer and write. It's pretty common for evenings in the summer. I don't care about this guy's. Sometimes I want to get to the story. Sorry, I thought I stumbled right on it, but this guy's like long drawn out story about someone selling DVDs in the parking lot. Let's see.
Do you remember when people used to sell stereo shit in parking lots? Like speakers? Hey man, I got these awesome JBL speakers. Only $500.
Oh,
you.
Man, I got some stupid story about one of those. My old drummer bought a speaker from some dude selling one out of a car once. Yeah. And he's like, it was so weird. I was coming out of like a Kmart or something.
Yeah, I was going to say Walmart, but yeah.
In my hometown, and I'm walking out, and then here comes Jeremy, our old drummer, comes flying up to me. He's like, dude, he's like, you got $80 I can borrow? I'm like, $80? I'm like, for what? He's like, I'll pay you back, man. No problem, dude. No problem. Oh man, I don't even know if I ever got the $80 back, but I mean, we were boys. It didn't, I was like, whatever. All right. He buys this speaker out of some dude from selling it in some dude's car. And he thought it was the coolest thing. He had a guitar and he would hit his amp up to it and shit. It was the dumbest thing ever. But I took a job once. Well, it was funny. We saw this ad in a paper and it was called Hippies with Cash. I'm like, what is this? So same dude, actually. He's like, gotta go with me on this interview thing. I'm like, all right. So we go to it, and turns out it was like this crazy traveling salesman type job, but you were selling like pictures and paintings to like people, businesses, people, whatever, like hang in there posters.
Oh, like motivational posters and shit. Nice.
Dude, it was crazy, man. Like I went out with one of the salesmen. I could never be a salesman. It was insane. This dude was like rolling up in the sides of machine shops trying to sell people pictures. I'm like, you're fucking nuts, dude. I couldn't believe it. I don't know. I about halfway through that day, I'm like, I think I'm good. Like he's like, does this seem like something you want to do? I'm like, no, take me back to the shop.
They have black eyes.
No, they were just selling whack ass pictures, dude. It was the most.
Dude, you know those Kirby vacuums that are like they have like jet engines in them. They were running something, and my ex, she was like, hey. She's like, I fucking set up this Kirby thing. They're going to come and vacuum our house. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? And then the dude ends up showing up, and yeah, dude, we just ended up like having beers and getting high with the dude, and he like vacuumed our house and stuff and gave us a Kirby promotion, and we didn't have to do anything. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, the other dude, the other singer in my band, like he worked for them, and he comes over to where I was living with my dude Mike, the bass player, and I was living at their house, and he comes over. He's trying to sell us this goddamn vacuum. It's like $2,000 or something, dude. Yeah. That Kirby vacuum. It was.
Yeah, man, dude. They're amazing vacuums.
Oh, it'll suck you off, clean your
yeah,
carpet.
dude.
It'll do everything.
It did.
Yeah.
Oh, hey,
Yeah,
time out. Time out. Let's welcome Cliff Wall to the show. Fashionably late. What's up, Felix?
Hi, guys. I'm reminded of a story. All these stories you're telling.
You got a story? Hop in with a story.
I was doing a canvassing job once, and it was for it was kind of an eco kind of thing for keeping the lakes clean in Milwaukee.
Mm-hmm.
And I ended up hearing that it might have been just like a scam, that it was just, keep the lakes nice and pretty for the rich people.
Yeah.
But I met a cool guy the first day we did it. I only went and did it once, but you went around and you just canvassed people and tried to get them to sign something. And we had a crazy synchro because we walked past the place that used to be his house, and we saw this like piece of mail blowing in the wind. And he goes, "Hey, what's that?" And we just randomly picked it up, and it was actually a piece of mail that had gotten delivered to him. And he used to live there like 3 or 2 years before. And it had his name on it. His name was Ben.
That's very odd.
And he's like, "What? No way. This is a piece of my like junk mail from 3 years ago, just floating around the neighborhood."
I mean, I give those dudes credit, man, for trying to go around selling shit like that, man. That's a tough gig. Oh my God.
Especially if you don't believe in it.
This guy was nuts.
Speaking of synchros,
one last thing I wanted to say. I also met a guy named Giancarlo who worked as a canvasser, and he just had a cool name, Giancarlo.
Giancarlo. Like that.
Giancarlo.
I used to work with this guy whose name was Angelo Prestigiacomo. That was cool.
That's awesome.
He was this big fat Italian dude from Long Island. We went to a strip club in Nashville together. I forgot which one. And the first thing he did when we got there was call his wife.
Chippendales?
And that was like the Pink Pony or something like that. I don't know. I hate strip clubs. But yeah, it was funny. He called his wife like the first thing. I'll be right back.
I'll be right back.
And then he told me all about his name. How his name means angel, and his last name means fast jack.
Prestidigious. So what is it? Prestidigious?
Well, prestidigitation is magic, hand magic. And it literally translates to fast fingers. Or fast hands. So Presta Giacomo is fast Jack, because Giacomo is Jack in Italian.
Jack be nimble, Jack be quick. Leonidas, sorry for stepping on your toes there. Were you saying something to synchro?
Oh, you're good. No, you brought up synchros. I was just going to mention that I didn't realize this until earlier. In the film, there are a few cryptocurrency symbolism within the film, which you should probably expect that. But anyways, today the crypto greed index was, I think, at 63 earlier today, and the episode number that I used for to play in the film was episode number 63. That was interesting.
That's right. Cruiser Mistake has a part in this film.
Yes. Yeah, thanks, man. That was awesome. And you played a little segment. We were talking to Tim Renner. That was pretty cool.
You guys saw it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's out. It got posted today. It's out.
Is it on beta?
Yeah, it finally got released today.
Tell everyone where they can find it, dude.
It's on Laserdisc.
It's a Laserdisc.
Yeah.
It's mail order.
Yeah, you gotta mail order it with 50 Honey Nut Cheerios.
It's actually on.
tops.
It's on VHS tape. We'll mail you a VHS tape.
Oh, that's beautiful.
You can only watch it if you have a VCR.
Scavenger hunt.
No, you can find it on housewithvideostore.com, and then of course our YouTube channel, and we have a Facebook version as well. They're up on those platforms.
Yeah, I watch it on YouTube.
So,
I watched it on my my TV.
The plan is right now, I'm going to submit to a few festivals, one international festival out of Norway, and see if they want it. And if they pick it, then they'll screen it over there in their country.
Was it rewarding filming it?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, you kind of missed the first part, but there was a lot of issues trying to get it produced and get it released. But yeah, I mean, overall, it was definitely. I think it was worth it. It was fun doing, and it's just one of those things, you know.
Can we brainstorm the next movie on Cruise Mistake?
Sure, I have no problem with that.
Remember my garage sale?
I've given you several ideas.
Yeah, I know, Jerry. I got them written down, and they're actually in the queue.
Do you remember my garage sale idea?
Because you know, I'm just dying for a created by credit on some fucking cheesy YouTube video.
Remember my idea?
I don't remember the garage sale idea.
Actually, I do. I recall that. I don't remember the details, but
it's simple.
Finding something at a garage sale and
a Dybbuk box. Just make a Dybbuk box movie.
Oh, it's like a haunted item.
Was it like a possessed item?
Oh, each time it's just, you know, it could be like a slapstick kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
Sitting around.
Pass it around, and it gets passed around with different people and has different stories or something like that. Like it.
No, each thing that someone picks up has like a flashback associated with it, and then it's just people sitting around.
Yeah. So it would be sort of like an anthology type film.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah, I remember that. That's a good idea. We sort of kind of did that. We worked on a film called Volumes of Blood, Horror Stories, and it was an anthology film. So basically, it was a realtor. He was trying to sell this house, and this house has all these different stories, and each room and floor they went to was a different story with a different like murder and stuff. So kind of like that. But yeah, I like it. I like the idea.
Nice.
Damn, I wish these Black Eyed Kid stories weren't so damn long.
I really do want to have a created by credit someday. I mean, that is a thing.
Dude, there's this really cool one. Black Eyed Grandparents.
That's not even Black
Eyed Kid phenomenon is expanding like porn.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah.
Well, maybe the world
late at my PC, 2 to 3 a.m. in the morning. For whatever reason, probably need to give my eyes a rest. I wandered over to the window, looked down the road in direction of the cemetery, although it was way too far down the street for me to see. I saw 3 people walking slowly down the road. I could see that they were quite old and appeared to be dressed in funeral clothes, which was given the hour, it was really weird. There were 2 women and a man. I'd put their ages around 80 years old. The woman in the middle was being steadied, guided by the other woman. The man came closer, and as the man came closer, I got the impression that she was upset. My first thought is that, given that their age, that they maybe buried her husband and in grief, and had caused her to be slightly irrational, causing her to try to be out near the cemetery at that hour. And the 2 friends went to, try to take her home. Anyway, it was all interesting enough for me to carry on watching as they got closer to the house. All right, I'm going to read this. This is getting good. Just outside the front door of the house was a street lamp. I watched them as they made their way past, but when they got to the lamppost, they all stopped. And the upset woman in the middle looked up at me and grinned. This was when things got weird. The grin became sort of grimace. And then if there was any color in her face to start with, it was now dead white. At that point, I realized I was staring right into her eyes, but her eyes were pitch black. Time sort of dilated. If you ever crashed a car in this final split second before you make an impact, seems to drag out forever. Yeah, it's kind of like,
slow motion.
I've done that.
Yeah, your James car crash cruise.
No doubt, I get that nickname for nothing, dude. Oh, I've had many freeze frames. I mean, slamming from some crazy snowboarding, skating, or these
so
times.
many
Time
concussions.
just slows down, dude. Right before I'm about to die. Yeah.
Your poor brain.
Oh, it's messed up. Yeah.
I got some good porn some good parody porn titles made up now for this. The Black Eye Granny.
Black Eye Granny.
Granny Handies. And
Oh, Jesus.
Black Eye Grannies are BEG, so it'd be bag jobs for like a hand job from Black Eye
Bag of
Grannies.
jobs.
Bag job. I'm just
Black-eyed
brainstorming,
fluffer.
okay?
Wow.
I like it. It's a great storm.
So it was in that second sort of thing. I'm sure we only made eye contact for a second, but it felt like several minutes as my peripheral vision faded. And it felt like all I could see was these two black holes in her face drawing me in. Although the distance between us didn't change, she somehow felt like she was coming closer. And I was kind of aware, although I could honestly say I could see them at that point, that the two people with her were just continuing to look down the road as if they were frozen, but waiting for the woman to finish whatever she was doing. I was suddenly hit with the intense feeling of dread and panic, and I threw myself on the floor. As soon as I'd broken her gaze, I felt pretty stupid that this upset old lady who clearly needed help and had spooked me so badly that I was that I looked out the window again. So I looked out the window again, and there was no sign of them. It was a longish straight road, and the house was towards the middle. So, wait, so it was a longish straight road, and the house was towards the middle. So Linford Christie would have had trouble getting out of sight of this time as I looked. God,
Come on.
I don't
Come
even
on,
know
James.
what that is.
You got this. Get it together. You got this.
That's the end of it. Linford Christie would have trouble getting a sight in the time I looked away, let alone 3
Sound it out.
Octogenarians? How do you say that, Jerry?
That's not a word I've even heard of.
Octogenarian, yes. It's
Octogenarian.
People
It's
over
got to be
100.
like over 80, right?
Centenarian.
whatever.
80.
Oh,
80s,
okay.
over 80 or in
Yeah.
their 80s. I don't
That's a
fucking
huge
know.
word.
Yeah, that says I don't like that word.
I don't like that word at all.
That shit's pretentious.
That's what was throwing me off. I'm like reading above. I'm like, wait a minute, and then I saw that. I'm like,
It's
like
embellishment.
Centenarian.
centenarian.
That's 100-year-old.
Oh, okay. So that was pretty creepy. Yeah, enough to scare the piss out of some kid, and drop him to the floor.
Were they floating in the air?
It didn't seem like it. It sounds like they were walking, down the street.
Well, I know a lot of the reports are.
You know what? Well, like the way he projected, though. Yeah, there you go. We're projected. He projected as if the lady was like coming right at him. Like if like you're talking about maybe floating. Yeah, like this.
Yeah, like floating. They're not like moving. They're not
where
bouncing or anything.
distance like closes in on you. Yeah, like
like
right
a
to you.
wormhole.
Yeah, exactly.
Like time and space folded.
And that person comes to you directly. That would be wicked. Yeah, I would knock me on my ass. I'd be fucking freaking out.
It'd be like living in a fucking Spielberg movie.
No doubt. Punch it, Chewy.
The Zoom dolly trick he loves.
Oh, we got a regular party here. Let's welcome Niish to the show tonight.
Hello, everyone.
Wow.
Hi.
Hey, Niish.
You say black-eyed kids, and I'm in.
Do you have some black-eyed kids stories, Niish?
Not personally, but I'm deeply interested, as you know, in the strange and all the high strangeness. So yes, in that regard.
So
What
what?
about black-eyed grannies?
Yeah, man. This was crazy.
I may have one of those in my closets.
Yeah.
In one of my closets around this place.
So Niish, what do you think? In your opinion, what do you think these entities are? Do you think they're demons? Do you think they're alien hybrids?
I like that. For me, as anyone who knows or listens to Jerry and I's show, the table's wide open, and I think there is no, for me, one clear answer. I think there could be a combination of aspects that brings this phenomena to light. So I'm deeply enchanted by the interdimensionality. However, this hybrid thing that's going around has sparked my interest as well. So I don't have a solid idea of what they are. Demons? No, I'm not really one that subscribes so much to that idea.
Yeah.
Right.
So something that
You have to answer the question though. What are demons then?
What are demons?
Right. Well, I'm coming from the
sloughing it off to
common
something.
vernacular there, Jer. So
No, I
like,
wasn't talking about you. I was saying people who say that need to answer that question. What you're just passing the buck.
yes, I can completely agree.
well, we know that these encounters are always negative. There's nothing positive about them. There's always that sense of dread, that sense of terror, that feeling that everyone gets according to their own reports, their own stories of their interactions with these things are always like they have this feeling like they should not answer the door. They should not let them in. There's just something really bad. Even before they even get to the door, they just have that sense of dread.
Do you think?
Sorry.
Do you think so? One of the things that struck me looking into this a bit, and just into this in general, is they seem kind of, if we're talking about a mix of elements, there's something bug-like to them, like how we experience mantids with the all black eye, right? And also when we're looking at some of the psychological stuff with the way people approach things that are unknown, fear tends to be one of those elements that comes forth. And yes, I'm aware though that they are associated with some very bad consequential stuff, right? Don't let them in. There's like this vampire edge to them almost, like don't let them in. Once you let them in at the door, then we have disappearances associated with them. I just wonder where the common ground is here. There is something on the deep, they're already woo-woo, but on the deep woo-woo side, there's something bug-like to them, something mantid-like or ant-like in a hybrid sense.
I could see that.
It's
really just a thought, Chad.
That's really interesting, though, because what if? Let me ask this question to Leo. Has anyone reported any interesting smells with these beings?
Yes. There's, from what I've read, there's two different type of smells. One is a very musty earth smell. And then the second is sulfur.
Okay. That sounds like a Bigfoot encounter.
Well, that just makes you think like any sort of encounter with some sort of
it's
creature. Yeah.
No, but a lot of people report when they encounter Bigfoot, they feel that dread, that fear. That, there's always a smell. So there's a psychic attack and there's an odor attack. Pheromones,
I can attest to the Bigfoot thing, having had that experience now.
Right. I'm saying they're similar. I'm not saying they're the same thing. It's interesting that they're similar, which led me to think, what if? So the theory in my head is that these beings are just whatever, they're entities, right? And they just have different energetic forms. Call it what you will. But some of them may evolve. So at some point, they may have been fairies, and now they're grays, and now maybe they're evolving into a human-gray hybrid. That's what their energy pattern projects to you.
The sulfur thing is intriguing to me because as I've just been kind of diving deeper into minerals and crystalline stuff, sulfur, which I just bought a bunch of, is actually considered a very protective thing to have around you and in your environment. It's so, and there, and through like, and I'm not a new ager, just let me say that out loud. But there is something, I haven't read anything negative about it. However, we see in pop culture that, from Supernatural, the show, to to all these great books on all this too, where sulfur is associated with the underworld and with hell and with these darker entities. Yet in some of the new agey stuff and some of the older stuff that's not quite new age, but still in the realm of magic, sulfur is on the good side of things. So that I'm intrigued by that and where that finds, where it finds its place in this, in association to these black-eyed kids.
So sort of like a duality type.
Yes, polarizing in a way.
Yeah.
You might be able to just use it either way you want, depending on what your intention is with it. If you want to use it for good, maybe it reacts to that.
Well, in the end, isn't that the nature of it all? It's all mind stuff. And so, but with these experiences, everyone that reports it, as was being said, these black-eyed kid experiences do overall seem to be very negative. And how, I don't know how I would approach it. I'm not letting anything in my door, especially at night, that looks kind of crazy. You know, I mean, even if it doesn't look crazy and it just looks human, if I don't know you, you're not coming in. Sorry. We'll talk through the window.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, I wonder if it's sort of like a, you know, they manifest whatever these things are, energy, tulpas, whatever, they manifest themselves as kids because they know that we have some type of protective mechanism about ourselves. You know, we're, as an adult, you want to help a kid that comes, you know, if they knock on your door randomly in the middle of the night and they're seeking help, the first thing that comes to your mind is, yeah, I want to help this kid. Like, what's going on? I want to get them out of the rain. I want to get them out of the cold. So maybe that's something they harness to kind of trick you to let them in. And also it kind of ties into when there's been, you know, stories of, and this is brought up, I think in Hellier, about a baby crying in the distance or a baby crying in the woods.
Yes.
To sort of kind of like lure you in to that specific area or direct you in a certain direction. A certain path.
That's extremely significant, and we see that in old, like especially like Gaelic and the Irish lore. I at least grew up with it. There's the whole changeling stuff too, but the baby crying was always a thing. There's all the banshee stuff in the wood, but with these black-eyed kids, I think you're right onto something significant here. We look at it. Look at the political movements that go around. I hate to say this aloud, really. But around hurt children or dead babies on the beach, people will move great mountains in reaction to such images. And so it's a way to definitely pull at our heartstrings and gain entry psychically, if nothing else, into our spheres. Into our personal sphere.
Yeah, they may interact with our energy and present themselves as we would maybe able to see them, right, or able to accept them.
Sure. Like some people say, some say that the some of your short-term memories are, you know, expressed in your aura. So sensitive creatures like that could pick up things and mold itself. Is that what you're going for?
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't mean to step on you. Sorry.
Oh, it's perfect bait. It really is. If you're fishing and you want to catch something, this is a perfect package to do it with.
It's predatory.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. And that's where the bug factor comes in for me with the eyes.
Which would tie into Cliff High's whole thing too.
Yeah. Well, he's not saying anything new, but it's new for him to come out and say this stuff.
What whole Cliff High thing? Elaborate for people who may not know what you're talking about.
Cliff High is running a quote-unquote LARP right now about insect overlords that are basically farming us.
Oh, okay.
But he's coming out very specific with it, and it's a left turn. It's a big left turn for him. I think it's ballsy, so I'm not sure.
It's mega woo.
Yeah, well, this is all mega woo, but for Cliff, it's definitely on the edge.
Why is he deciding to do this?
Well, because he's saying he's got the data, he's got the web bot.
Well, he thinks that this is coming and that he wants to prepare a portion of people who are ready to listen to be defensive against.
So
what's
is
coming.
this a LARP, or does he genuinely believe this?
He's calling it a LARP to avoid the AI. You know,
Right, because of the algorithms on YouTube.
Wow.
Yeah,
Look at a lot of people on YouTube right now have to say satire and LARP and stuff not to
Right.
get censored.
right. But here's the thing: what he's forming this into, and what he's called it, is Jedi School.
Jedi school? Oh man.
It's interesting. I'm watching.
I'm gonna have to look into this because I
Jerry,
do like a lot of Cliff High's stuff.
It's what he's saying something that's mirroring this other guy just almost verbatim, and who was on like Richard Dolan's show recently. Jerry, do you know who I'm talking about? I know I sent it to Suzanne.
No, I don't. But the whole insect thing bothers me because that it pollutes the impression of what it could be.
Right.
You know, the
When
word
you're
insect. And,
Yeah,
and when you're right, you think,
it front loads you automatically with
Totally.
what an insect is. Yeah.
So if you strip that away, what you're left with is a robotic intelligence.
Well, the idea of the net and the web seems like something you get caught in, right?
Yeah, but
Just in the language.
that's just, I think, the system expressing itself
Mm.
for those who can see it.
It's interesting timing with all of this stuff, and we can't overlook the black-eyed kids in the broader scope of this conversation that's going on with all this ET stuff being pushed to the surface that includes the Von Braun testimony or private stuff he was saying. It's all kind of neatly forming some sort of ball here. If you look at all the individual pieces coming together.
The older these dudes get, the more they can talk about.
Well, I mean, not only that, but there's been a lot of weird articles recently. I posted a few of them on a few groups. Like one was from February 18th, yesterday. DNA testing needed to identify mystery animal that attacked and killed North Carolina teacher.
Mystery animal. Jinx.
Yes. And then there was one locally to me in Louisville. Attack on Louisville llamas appears canine in nature.
Dogman.
Ooh.
Yeah, so six llamas were
Llama man.
were,
Llama ding dong.
were brutally killed in a gated enclosure here in Louisville. I think it was near a zoo too.
Oh wow!
zoo
You know,
came out-
llamas are intense too. They're fighting.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, that's what the owner said. She said llamas. I mean, because she mentioned that they have a lot of coyotes nearby, and they've never bothered them because the llamas will.
Yeah, your coyotes are so
crap out of
small. Yeah, they're so
Yeah,
small.
I've had llamas, and they're scary. I've backed down many times. They will come at you, and I had them out in the the deep high desert in New Mexico, where nothing bothered them. Other things would come from my sheep and my horse. I had a horse taken down. The llamas were always all right.
Well, here's the thing. This is what she said. A fence near the front of the farm's property was smashed and covered in blood when one of the llamas tried to run away. While many neighbors were quick to speculate the coyotes were responsible, she says she was skeptical. She was skeptical because she said llamas are good at defending themselves. One of her llamas that was killed weighed 500 pounds. And she quoted saying, I see coyotes around here all the time. Llamas are our guard animals. They'll mess you up.
Yeah. Weird.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. That's whatever took those down is formidable.
That was in my
got
backyard.
ear.
Dire wolves.
Jeez. Seriously, I mean that's. So what else was going on? They don't.
Sounded more like
So they're
hellhounds.
speculating on that, or
So they were saying that the Department of Fish and Wildlife Resources is not aware of any wild wolves in Kentucky. They added that wolves are classified as prohibited species in Kentucky, meaning a person can import, transport, or possess wolves. The nearest wild population of mountain lions resides in Nebraska, which is more than 300 miles, or excuse me, more than 900 miles away from the state.
Yeah, Nebraska's pretty far.
Mountain lions won't risk damage, though. They stalk, and they take out one thing at a time. That's just not their behavior at all. And wolves you'd hear.
Spokesperson from the Louisville Zoo said all the animals at the zoo are accounted for.
The llama wasn't sick or anything or old, or was it pretty healthy? Like it wouldn't have been targeted, maybe?
No, they were all healthy.
It was a pack of them, right, Leo?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, it was 6 llamas that were killed.
Yeah, I mean, they were together. That's a lot, Grimsteak.
Yeah, that is a lot. I didn't know. I thought it was just one. I didn't know it was all 6. That's crazy. Oh man,
that's actually blowing my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's and someone mentioned in the group that there was another article, a local news article that was talking about an unknown creature or something, or another killing or something.
Did they look like they were eaten though, or were they just was it just a kill?
They were.
Does the article say anything?
There's pictures. If you look it up, it's on the Courier Journal. They have some photos here. So it looks like so. Yeah, no, there's no way this was a coyote. I'm sorry. They show a broken fence with blood all over the place. They show. I mean, it looks like a massacre, really. The llamas, they were full-grown size llamas.
Wow.
And yeah, they show them in the field. They're just on the ground, dead.
This to me is high strangeness. Where's Linda Moulton Howe?
Yeah, where is Linda Moulton Howe? She's probably getting duped by somebody.
They were attacked overnight.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
That creeps me out. That's that creeps me out. Oh, geez.
Well, she said that they heard a loud barking sound, I believe, when they came in the middle of the night. A lot of commotion, I think, is what she described.
So what cryptid are we calling this? Is like a Dogman thing?
Well,
Maybe?
I do know that Kentucky has a rich history of Dogman sightings.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I can tell you this area. In fact, I'm trying to get some special equipment, camera equipment, because out at my grandmother's house, they live in the middle of nowhere. And every time I go out there, there's all kinds of lights just in the woods, in the sky. My grandmother told me that I was talking to her one night. She says, "Oh yeah, there's a mothership that comes by all the time." And I was like, "Okay, can you elaborate? What does that mean?" He's like, "Oh, it's just this ship that comes by and flies low to the ground, and it moves, in weird directions really quick. It's completely silent." And I said, "Oh, okay. Well, that sounds interesting. We'll have to check that out." But I mean, out there's no lights or anything to obscure your view of it. So I'm gonna try to go out there this spring or this summer to see what I can find.
Nice.
And they live right in the woods in the middle of nowhere, so with an open field. But there's all kinds of weird sightings out here. My one of my uncles, they lived in the woods here in Indiana, and he swears up and down he saw this green orb, this bright green orb coming down from the sky. And now I will say that they were probably him and his friends were probably smoking the green stuff, so I'm not sure if that
no
played a
way.
factor.
No factor at all. I've been high.
Not the devil's lettuce.
No way.
Smoke
I
weed
hate that.
every day.
Exactly.
But there's a lot of reports. There's a lot of sightings out here in this area. I mean, of course, this area is very rich with Native American burial grounds, and of course, you got the Serpent Mound in Ohio. that I visited, and there's a lot of weird stuff. National Forest.
There's so much, like, so many books written on ghosts in Indiana, and like there's a lot of haunted places in the state.
I love Indiana. There's some thick wood there too. It's in the Midwest. It's definitely it's funny how overlooked it gets. Because there's a lot going on, James.
You said thick wood, I was like,
I know. I always mean it's mean woods, but this me too. So let's get a soundbite, boys.
Firm, sturdy wood.
Sturdy wood.
All I could think was BBC.
So what brings us on to the Black-Eyed Kids this evening?
Leonidas here released a short film called They Knock. Yeah.
So, okay, excellent.
You can find that on
you'll have
YouTube.
to go back to when you re-listen to the podcast. I explained in the beginning all the different issues I had trying to get this film released, including the day we shot the film, my little cousin who's actually in the film.
I was just going to say, I think that was him, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you met him. You met him at
Yeah, we
CryptoCon.
met him at CryptoCon.
Yeah. So his dog that he grew up with actually died the morning of the shoot.
Oh my.
So
that's sad.
Yeah, it was pretty rough for him, but he stuck it out and he got the job done. So I'm pretty proud of him for doing that. But yeah, just all kinds of weird stuff. Like mainly it was technical issues. Like Sean, he's the main guy. He does most of the editing and stuff. And he's like, dude, I don't understand what's going on. Like this stuff won't export. When I do export it, something changes that I didn't change, and it's just weird. And yeah, so originally we're going to release it on Valentine's Day. That didn't pan out. We ended up releasing it today, which just so happens to be the supermoon.
Do you get into your film in the wrap up portion of it? Do you get into your overall take on what's going on with this phenomenon, or do you leave it open ended?
I give it's
not a documentary.
Yeah, I mean, it's a short film. I leave it open into when the person viewing it it's up to them on how they perceive it. I put in there's a lot of Easter eggs in there, and there's a lot of different ways you can take it. I put stuff in there that would indicate it could be alien hybrids. It could be demonic. I like to leave stuff, like you said, open-ended and let the viewer decide on what they feel about it as far as their perspective.
Well, just between us here, and after having dug into this material, what do you actually think, if you could hone down on a synthesis and synthesizing this information, looking at the different aspects, what do you think this is boiling down to? And of course, this is your opinion.
I don't know. That's tough. I mean, honestly, I think it's something that we just manifest. I think it's something that, we have a very dark side to ourselves. And I feel like when these things are encountered, it's always during, 1 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, during that time frame. So it feels like, I don't know if you were here when I talked about the dream I had when I was actually a black-eyed person in the dream.
I missed that.
Yeah, so I had a dream where I was actually one of the I don't know if I was a black-eyed kid, but I was a black-eyed something. And I went into the house and I was going room to room, and I was terrorizing this family. And it was very vivid because I remember I woke up, I was like, man, what the hell was that? And it was from my perspective, like I was that black-eyed person. Like I was going in there and doing these things. And I remember people screaming, and like I could see like the vivid terror on their face when they saw me. And I remember there was a part in the house that had a mirror, and I remember looking into the mirror, and it was seeing my black eyes that I had in my face. So that's pretty weird. I don't know if it's some type of astral projection type thing where, your darker side gets unleashed into the world and you project this thing out as a tulpa, or maybe as some type of entity that's a part of you. I mean, as far as like the whole alien hybrid thing, I don't know. I don't feel like it's that. I don't feel like they're alien hybrids or anything.
Okay. Yeah. I mean,
wrong.
it's,
I don't know.
Well, that's the thing. Anything's possible with all of this, and that's
could be
partly why this is juicy.
That could be the answer. It could be completely isolated to the individual perspectives of the people who are interacting with these things.
Did you learn in your studies on this? Because I honestly don't know a lot about them. Is this a worldwide phenomena?
Yes.
That's
so.
interesting.
I mean, that's to be taken into consideration for real.
Well, I mean, so is Bigfoot.
Well, yeah, and I had a Bigfoot experience, and before that, as everyone knows, I didn't even give it a blink of an eye, and now I'm like, do not enter, wrong way. I'm getting the fuck out of Bigfoot territory. Leave Bigfoot alone. So, and I actually now I just call it Sasquatch because I think, I don't know, even calling it Bigfoot seems like doesn't do it justice.
Sasquatch.
Yeah, I mean, apparently there's different types.
Yeah,
Yeti.
Oh hell, in the UP of Michigan, they call it the hodunk. At least my ex-husband, who's half his family's from there, and they had stories of it up there in Marquette and Lawrence and Cupper Harbor and all this. And all these people, they're kind of like rednecks in a way up there, and it was like hodunk stories. And I was always intrigued by it.
I mean,
hodunk.
I thought a hodunk was a bidet.
Dude, I don't know. It still makes me laugh, but I heard so many people refer to it as a hodunk.
I mean, I'll tell you that
Finlander, probably. There's so many Finlanders up there.
I think that we're going to see a large increase of these type of sightings in the future. I think there's something, I don't know. My thing is, I think we're being slowly sucked into a massive black hole, and we're just we don't realize it, or we're even past the event horizon, and we're kind of merging with these different timelines, and that's why everything is so, messed up and everything seems out of place. And you have these crossovers of all these different entities. And
so what if the idea that the future's uncertain, but whatever the collective, thinks is going to happen, that we're going to tend towards those timelines? In which case, look at what kind of future programming people are getting. They're expecting an alien invasion at some point, I'm sure. So are we heading towards the timeline, or attracted to, or attracting it towards us? You know what I mean? Maybe that's how the future works, is everything's possible if we just have to aim the ship, the Earth, us, humanity, whatever, at that correct trajectory. But now we're like going and we're fucking doing donuts in the parking lot.
I'm working on this theory for reincarnation. You guys want to hear it?
Yeah, would love to.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Really quick, I had this idea that every time you die, you are reborn as a male and a female, and it's two parts of your body or two aspects of your soul, and then you come together to try to learn how to bring your soul back together.
You already came together, you said.
No, you're one entity. Then you die. Then you come back as a male and a female. And then you come together
to be astonished
to learn how to make yourself more complete.
I've always felt that whatever the spirit is, whatever is asexual. It's not a gender thing.
That's a romantic notion, no?
That could be. I mean, when you look at all the stories of young children that talk about their past lives, how they were
androgynous, not asexual. Sorry.
If they were, if they're a boy, they talk about how they were a female in their past life or something like that.
Yeah, I was a female mass murderer in the beginning of Christianity.
Oh yeah.
Oh, did you do?
Good for you. Good for you.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
You got your past life regression, James?
Yeah, and Fade to Black.
Well, nice.
Oh, you did?
Uh-huh.
Nice.
Was it through an Akashic reading or?
It's one of those weird Halloween shows.
Was it one of those like Swedish, like those fish? The
Some
fish
chick, I can't remember her name.
Was it Saint Germain?
It sounds familiar. Yeah. Yeah.
Saint Germain.
Yeah.
Saint Germain.
Yeah,
It was pretty funny though. Like,
He's being an ass.
It's the system expressing itself. Yeah, she reads from the Akashic. She's real interesting. I actually consider getting.
no, it was really cool. I mean, but
Were
man,
you like Jane the Ripper?
yeah,
Jane the Ripper.
Jane the Ripper, exactly.
Yeah, but what Cliff is
Jane
saying
Slocum.
is important with, say, like you see it in lots of the mystery schools. So it's in, of course, it's in all of the sacred texts too. The higher angelic orders are neither. And then there's a whole process in the alchemical transmutation, the individuation in alchemy, where they come together. You put them together, they come apart, they separate and come back together. There's also this idea of the precession of the equinoxes. We went from Pisces, which was masculine, to Aquarius, which is, Pisces was patriarchal, Aquarius is matriarchal, and it's back and forth. So there's a higher idea here that I think Cliff is speaking to that makes a lot of sense to me. I don't know where the P's and Q's are here, but I understand what you're talking about, Cliff.
Go on. I want to say, let me just say this before I forget. If you listen to Randy Niish, she was talking about how putting energy or focusing into a past timeline will keep our timeline connected to it. So these things like alien invasions, like the Orion Wars, shit like that, she claims they were injected into our timeline. So we have memories of them, past memories that affect our behavior, but only if if people talk about it and remember it, will it continue to exist in our timeline going forward. Which goes into
like oral tradition in a weird way with stories, right, Jer?
Yes, but they were always metaphors or allegories.
Yeah, which is also, we see that in the oral tradition, say like the Aboriginal folk.
Exactly. It's just interesting. That was just a thought. Sorry, dude.
Oh, that's fine. I was going to bring up, I think I was in the most recent Grimerica that the guest was talking about how people would have these birthmarks, or they'd have these things that lined up with like a past life where maybe they died and
got a hammer to the head and was killed by a hammer to the head and has like
a birthmark on
round birthmark on their head. Yeah,
in their next life.
Yeah.
And so I kind of made that connection because my wife has like a birthmark that's exactly where a birthmark is on me, and they like kind of like match up like a mirror.
Weird.
Well, there's an idea out there that your body is really just it's a projection. You project your image of how you look. So if you had trauma, and if there is reincarnation and you had trauma that was unhealed, it might express itself. So
plus, Jerry, there's a little bit of a twin flame thing going on with that. If him and his wife both have this, which also plays into this theory you're talking about, Cliff.
Yeah, I would think more that souls split instead of combining, because I think you would have you'd be DID or multiple personality if you had two. You'd have two tendencies usually.
It's like mitosis.
Maybe, but I don't know. It's like split brain. One side, it's like really having like an angel and a devil on your shoulder, because you don't know which path to take. You can't make a decision.
And yet they are the same in the end.
Yeah, maybe.
She did spook me out when we first met because she did have 666 as the CVC code on the back of her her credit card.
But see, that to me is 999, which is the master number. I mean, Tesla, hello.
I heard today the Earth rotates around the sun at 66,600 miles an hour. Is that true?
I'm surprised you didn't look that up, Jared. So, like, where did y'all talk about the Black Eyed Kids a lot? How long has this been going on before I jumped in?
Since 96
last Thursday.
So yeah, of course. I'm always late for the party. I've got my top hat on though. So I was curious, like, what Watcher's ideas were on the Black Eyed Kids.
Let's see if I'm muted. Okay.
Oh, you're good.
Now, my idea, well, I see it as all to do with human consciousness. So maybe if there were kids with a condition where there is an eye condition where you have black eyes, right? So it's possible that it could have started there, and we created this mythos around it, like we do around a lot of myths. But it can kind of gain traction the more people believe in it, and it becomes a reality for us. And then maybe it's part of our energy, or maybe it's I'm not sure if it's outside entities or not. But I do think the human mind is a lot more powerful than we believe. And it's quite possible that all of this is a creation that we are collectively creating.
Yeah, so, I think so too. But aren't there, and I guess Chad could correct me here, but aren't there actual abductions around the Black Eyed Kids?
As far as abductions, I'm not sure. A lot of the stories are reported from people who do not let them in.
Okay, yeah, of course.
Yeah, I mean...
the wise ones.
That is true, man. It's like, how many times has this happened where people have let them in and then they've, like, manipulated
about it?
Like, dude, just taken over. And just, who knows?
Well, it happened in your film.
Yeah, oh, man. No spoilers. No spoilers. People gotta watch it.
I believe there was one story that I heard where someone let them in and it was really weird and a string of bad things started happening, but they could have been harbingers of, or maybe not harbingers, but it could have warned the people that there's going to be these things happening in your life. It could be you warning yourself about the coming tragedies, or, maybe they didn't bring them on. Who knows?
Well, is there like a certain kind of spirit or something that would be like some sort of bringer of bad omens that may be able to manifest itself in the form of these black-eyed children's? I don't know.
I don't know.
Black-eyed children's, you say?
Yeah, I did say black-eyed children's.
Actually, Grimsteak, I loved you for that. The children's. That shows Z at the end of it.
Black-eyed children's. Black-eyed children's.
Let's start spitting a rap. Come on now. Well, I just wonder, for some reason I had this association. I've got to tell you, it's like the Bigfoot thing. I've never really put too much of an ear to it. And I hope that this is not a calling to the invitation to any of these motherfuckers. They better not shelter my cottage. This is Cruise a Mistake. I can curse, right?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Anything goes. You could be racist if you want. I don't care.
The light is on. I'm letting my F-bombs out.
You can do whatever you want.
I'm drop and hang. But there is, I thought I had heard like a couple of abduction stories where they had, of course, and then there's a knock somewhere in my house. Did you all hear that? It was crazy.
Yeah, what was that?
Did you actually hear that?
No.
Okay. Don't give me psyched. You're terrible. I'm all alone. All right. Well, I mean, I do have wolves. I have protection, just so the world out there knows. So I thought I'd heard a story that, like, a couple let them in one night or something. There were two of them, and one of the people went missing. But this, again, I'm reaching, and I have this association with them. and I can't somehow parse out where that is and why that is. Again, I think what Watcher was saying though is really relevant to this idea and how we collectively participate in these kinds of things, and that alone creates a big ball of psychic energy, right?
Okay.
That can manifest of its own accord. It becomes almost sentient in a way of its own. All the psychic energy we feed into something.
I mean, could it also be something where, the practicing the occult is something that's kind of trending, and maybe younger people or maybe groups of people are doing stuff and they don't really understand what they're doing, and they're causing these entities to come in, or maybe it's something like they're fucking up the system and it's causing turmoil and stuff, and it's just kind of like cascading down. Like once it happens, it's kind of hard to get it stuff back into the box type thing.
Maybe we create a vessel for this. Sorry, Niish.
No, that's what I'm saying. I just wanted to highlight this for James and Grim. Y'all should have a show specifically on the rise and the popularity of the occult, because I'm just so tired of it. Seriously.
Only if you are on it to add your 2 cents.
Only what?
Well, I said only if you're on it to add your 2 cents.
Honey, I'll come on anytime when I get my invite.
Heck yeah.
I still haven't seen a blue loincloth, but that's a private conversation.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Get that velvet.
So, not to derail. Sorry, Cliff.
Oh, you guys want to hear my song for the night?
Yeah, let's take 5 and let's do a jam.
Hell yeah,
live music.
All right, here we go. That's what I came here for.
Dude, you're all clean shaven and in a robe. I'm really liking this.
In a robe,
you're looking good.
I'm loving the robe. You're definitely serving it up.
Yeah, nice and clean shaven, fresh razor. Words.
Your Lebowski is showing.
Yeah, totally.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I also wanted to talk about that Alex Berenson guy that was on Joe Rogan that we talked about.
That was kind of weird. That was like a little synchro. Like he was on there like 2 weeks after we did that show about it.
That was weird.
That was weird.
I didn't go listen to it. I was just kind of chalked it up as weird coincidence.
Yeah,
but
that was good.
Said that they kind of tore into him a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I listened to half of it, and I was just kind of tired of listening to it because it was kind of going nowhere.
Yeah.
You can't have debates. People are too hung up on their realities. Anyway.
On their beliefs.
Yeah,
Amens
exactly.
with a Z.
Amens.
Believe in nothing. You'll do
children's.
well.
Are you guys ready?
They call it nihilism, right?
I was born ready.
Let's do it.
They're nihilists, Donnie.
You hear guitar?
Here's some guitar. Heck yeah.
Okay, so I don't know if you guys want to mute down.
We'll mute down.
A little treat for you guys.
Oh, he's taking the glasses off. It's getting serious.
I don't know if you've ever heard of a little song by the band Leonard Skinner called Freebird.
Oh God, you're giving us Freebird. You're doing it.
Dude, the lighter's out. I've got the lighter out.
I'm turning it down. Let me know when it's over.
Hey.
I'll be back in a minute.
This is
my walked away.
This is like a different kind of rendition.
Oh, you're gonna give it the Cliff Wall spin on Freebird? Okay.
Yeah, you're gonna like
I like it. Okay.
Promise. You gonna mute down? Ready? Okay, here we go. Can you give me thumbs up for vocals and guitar simultaneous? Thumbs up. Okay, here we go. Hope you enjoy. We're no strangers to love.
know the rules, and so do I. A full commitment's what I'm thinking of. You wouldn't get this from any other guy. I just want to tell you how I feel. Gotta make you understand. Never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you down. Never gonna run around and desert you. Never gonna make you cry. Never gonna say goodbye. Never gonna tell a lie and hurt you. We've known each other for so long. Your heart's been aching, but you're too shy to say it. Inside, we both know what's been going on. We know the game and we're gonna play it. And if you ask me how I'm feeling, don't tell me you're too blind to see. Never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you down. Never gonna run around and desert you. Never gonna make you cry. Never gonna say goodbye. Never gonna tell a lie and hurt you. Never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you down. Never gonna run around and desert you. Never gonna make you cry. Never gonna say goodbye. Never gonna tell a lie and hurt you. Ooh, give you up. Oh, give you up. Never gonna give you up. Never gonna give you up. We know each other for so long. Your heart's been aching, but you're too shy to say it. Inside, we both know what's been going on. We know the game and we're gonna play it. I just wanna tell you how I feel. Gotta make you understand. Never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you down. Never gonna run around and desert you. Never gonna make you cry. Never gonna say goodbye. Never gonna tell a lie and hurt you. Never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you down. Never gonna run around and desert you. Never gonna make you cry. Never gonna say goodbye. Never gonna tell a lie and hurt you. Never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you down. Never gonna turn around and desert you. Never gonna make you cry. Never gonna say goodbye. Never gonna tell a lie and hurt you.
Just got cliff rolled.
Wow. Yeah, well, that was beautiful. You rickrolled is good.
Epic.
Awesome.
That was awesome.
Badass.
That was great.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was badass.
Like that.
Yeah, that's good.
Dude, everybody was jamming.
I'm jamming. I had the rock light going for that for sure.
Oh man.
Oh, that was kick ass.
Cliff is bringing the romance into the situation tonight.
That was fun to do.
Thanks, dude.
Yeah,
That was
dude, that was
freaking
good.
awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Got chills.
Singing that one actually like hurts your jaw because you really just like
you got it. You nailed it though.
out. Yeah, I went for the soul feel.
It's good soul.
Pin the tail on the donkey, Cliff. You did it.
Feels good.
Oh man. Fucking wildness.
Usually we talk about the song for a while.
Yeah, so
geez,
yeah,
well,
you wanna give a little breakdown of Never Gonna Give You Up?
I don't know much about it.
Have
Yeah,
you seen
normally-
the video?
Normally, yeah.
James usually looks up the song facts about it.
Yeah,
got
that's
song
kind of what
facts?
I'm doing right now.
James is on it.
I was jamming out during that one. I was just enjoying it.
You had James was full attention here, baby. This is a full hard on.
I threw a giant lighter with a flame on it and everything.
Meanwhile, Jerry thinks I'm singing Freebird.
Well, you did come in. That was bait and switch. You just say
that was a good bait and switch. That's the classic Rick roll.
Listen, I know. I was down for Freebird. I was feeling it.
There's some weird chord progressions with that Freebird song. Did you find?
Are you saying you can't do it, Cliff?
Well, I think I've played it before one time in a band, but I remember just not enjoying playing it. It's pretty basic, actually. I think.
Yeah, it seems basic.
It's a basic bitch song. Come on,
Rick rolled Rick Astley, dude.
Right? It's is
1987.
Ooh, dude, 87.
Yeah.
James has stats.
Come on, have some stats.
Oh man.
Got this, James.
It was
Rick Astley.
Yeah, sorry, hold on one second.
Who was the brother of John Astley, who was another like alternative rock, much better artist.
I think he was initially a tea boy at like a record company, and he'd go in there and get tea for the producers, but then they recorded a song with him.
Oh,
and
dude,
that was one of the one.
He's got some pipes, Rick Astley.
John Astley was the guy who had that song, Jane's Getting Serious. Do you remember that song? Jane's Getting Serious.
I don't recall that either.
No.
But Rick Astley, when he came on the scene, geez, of course, I was around in 87. He brought in the lower tone guy voice, and I was not into this song at the time, by the way, but he did bring in a new flavor of male vocal that was lacking, which was, bringing us down to some bass, and it was different. I mean, he did stand out for that. Now, in retrospect, is so campy, so kitschy that I love the Rick roll.
Exactly. Well, I mean, just pop culture and the meme culture has making it the Rick roll is a fucking thing.
It is a thing, and that's what's good. Some things age better than others, and that has done it. Like right off the bat, you don't want that wine. That's nasty wine. That's hard. That's acidic in the back of your throat. No blowjob tonight. But now it's smooth, and we have the Rick roll going, baby.
So this song was written by. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say the guy who dances the black guy in the video is pretty funny with the red suspenders.
Hilarious. Doing back.
Dude, these 80s videos are so great.
Oh man, I know. This
great
is
video.
Yeah.
At first he's just like really cool and casual bartender, and then all of a sudden he just starts getting into Rick Astley singing and dancing, and then he just like starts really dancing and comes over the bar like. Flips over it.
Oh, that's great.
So it was like a trio that worked on this album here. So it was a trio of Stock, Atkin, and Waterman. So the song was inspired by a woman, Pete Waterman, had been seen for 3 years. Rick Astley was staying with Waterman at the time, and after a 3-hour phone call with the woman, Ashley said, "You're never going to give her up." Even Waterman changed the story and a bit and made him the one who was vulnerable. So Rick Astley worked in Stock and Atkin and Waterman's studio for 2 years, operating tape machines, singing on recordings for other singers, learning the trade, famously making the tea before the production trio wrote and produced this song for him, which became his first hit and was recorded in 86 and wasn't released until 87 in the UK. And then he came over in 88 in the US. Stayed number 1 for 5 weeks, topped the charts in Europe. And when it came out, the music was the video was directed by Simon West. Finds Astley singing at various West London locales, including Empty Club, where he gradually inspires a bartender, played by dancer Clive Clark of the Top of the Pops dance troupe Zoo, to bust a move. Apparently, Clark had been nursing a serious hangover when his attempt to do a stunt flip went awry when he landed on his head. Luckily, he wasn't injured and nailed the stunt on another take. He's all drunk. I got this.
I think isn't this the video where they're bouncing off of chain link fences?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure
that wasn't the only snag during the one-day shoot, according to VH1's pop-up video. Oh, you remember pop-up video?
Oh yeah, dude, I remember pop-up video.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, Ashley's manager got into a 2-hour argument with West over whether the singer's sleeve should be rolled up.
Jeez.
But that was that definitely was a thing, and it's funny that that's mentioned because that is
like rolled up with suspenders and shit, right?
Yes, I recall it, and his pants were as well.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, it was like harking on the Duran Duran at the moment, and that particular fashion that was coming on through, which was actually a little bit late at the time. If you were avant-garde, baby.
In America, the follow-up single was Together Forever, which has a similar sound, considered the sequel of sorts to Never Gonna Give You Up. With Ashley now settling into a permanent union with the girl who he would never give up. That also went to #1. This song you heard... this is the song you heard when you got rickrolled. The internet craze originating in 2007 when various websites, including including an online anti-Scientology group and a Radiohead site, posted the links resembled normal click-throughs offering more of a news story, but instead took the users to the 1987 video of Rick Astley singing the song on YouTube. Astley was aware of the internet prank, which became known as Rickrolling and resulted in millions of hits on his YouTube song. Dude, what a victim of good fortune on that one. Holy shit.
I just want to say 2 of the standout lines in the song are well, it's like the first verse. A full commitment's what I'm thinking of. You wouldn't get this from any other guy.
And
he sings it real cheesy.
Yeah.
A full commitment's what I'm thinking of. You wouldn't get this from any other guy.
Oh, now you're getting down to my tone. See, I'll carry that bass.
Somewhere.
Ashley has always written songs, and 4 of his tracks made at.
Did I ever tell you about my barbershop quartet days?
Oh, please do, Jerry.
Jerry, come on, lead on into that.
Bum 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 bum.
I could though.
God, Grimstick, we got something going on here.
And just last year, he said that that song, Never Gonna Give You Up, he didn't write that song. I didn't have any personal connection to anything that was going on because I felt like I was watching it from the other side of a screen. He said it happened so fast. If you don't write the song and you haven't produced it, it's your song, but it takes if you don't write the song and you haven't produced it, it's your song. But it takes a bit of time
to bed
and for it to really become your song.
He
added.
Even some
of the other guests.
I'm digging this with you too. This is kind of up my alley with the echoing.
Or even
some of the greats, Whitney Houston, or even going back to Frank Sinatra, they did write and produce the music. So when I sing Never Gonna Give You Up, now that's my song. I don't care who wrote it. I don't care who produced it. It's my song. Quote.
And there it is.
Unquote.
There it is.
Man.
Right? It was like, meanwhile, you have like Lucky Star from Madonna happening. I mean, just in the pop charts, you know. It was an interesting time. Bananarama, y'all.
Yeah.
Right?
Bananarama.
Hey Felix, you got any more of those origins of words? You remember that we did?
A couple of them.
Yeah, man.
Like 3 or-
There was a couple left. I wanted to get through those. I was thinking about them all week.
What? Really? So this is like etymology of kind of American. This is a good one. You ever know the origins of break the ice?
No.
So it says here, back when road transportation was not developed, ships would be the only transportation and means of trade. At times, the ships would get stuck during the winter because of ice formation. The receiving country would send small ships to break the ice to clear a way for the trade ships. And this was a gesture of showed affiliation and understanding between two territories.
Ah, so when you break the ice, meeting somebody.
That's a synchro for me too. I had that term was used just tonight. I made a deal for the first time with someone, and he said this was an icebreaker, breaking the ice.
Man, broke the ice.
It's a
you got a trade route open now.
I know, literally from China.
Yeah. It's awesome.
Synchro.
Finally found an opium supplier.
I was going to say something
Jerry,
like
don't get me. That is the one drug that I've tried a few times way back a long time ago that I don't have an addictive personality. I've never been addicted to anything, but that sweet smelling deliciousness. Oh my, that could be a problem. And of course, just my love of beauty. Like it smells so good.
Yeah.
Then you lay yourself down in a beautiful environment, glass beaded curtains, velvet fringe, pillows, beautiful women. Come on. This is a situation.
I smoked it half a dozen times at least, and I've never gotten buzzed off it.
I got my friend, and this was in Georgia. My friend went to Thailand, and a good friend of mine, and smuggled some back for me. I still can't believe he did it. So I had tried some that was here that was allegedly opium. It was a whole different situation. It was not even like the same thing. So I don't know if there's a difference. 1987. No, actually, this was in the 90s.
Oh, I love the 90s.
Yes, I love the 90s.
Such a fun decade, huh?
Mm-hmm.
The 90s were great.
All the good rap songs, all the good.
What was it the last time anything was real?
Pretty much.
I mean,
or maybe it was the last time that the illusion was strong enough to keep over us. You know, because the internet,
it didn't seem so repeating like it is now, or thin.
Yeah, where people are getting rickrolled.
Yeah, getting rickrolled.
Regurgitating it. Cold enough to freeze the balls off a brass monkey?
I never heard that.
Oh, brass monkey.
That funky monkey.
Having to do with ships again. Sailing ships, including warships and freighters, carried cannons. Cannons fire round iron balls, as you may know. It was important to keep a steady supply of cannonballs ready at a moment's notice. However, they were not easy to secure on a moving ship. They would stack the balls in a square base pyramid with one ball on top, resting on 4, resting on 9, and so on. They would stack the cannonballs in supplies of 30 this way. They would then make a metal plate of iron called a monkey with 16-round indentations to hold the cannonballs on the bottom layer. There was only one problem. Since the balls and the plate were both made of iron and the ship was a very moist environment, the balls would easily rust to the plate, making them difficult to move. In order to solve this problem, they made them instead out of brass. However, they didn't realize that brass does not have the same properties that iron does. As it is chilled, it contracts more and it contracts faster. When the temperature dropped too far, the brass indentations would shrink so much that the iron cannonballs would come right off the monkey. Thus, it was quite literally cold enough to freeze the balls off a brass monkey.
That whole description really did sound kind of very sexual to me. Like I was reading into all of that.
It's the word moist. Once you said moist, that's what triggered me.
Gotcha.
It instantly triggered me.
Grimsteak, you're right there with me as usual. It was the word moist that got me too. I almost said moist. And then James got us though.
Yeah. Yeah. Damn.
This one, you might know a little something about this, Grimsteak. Give the cold shoulder.
Why would I know something about give the cold shoulder?
You'll see. Origin. In medieval England, it was customary to give a guest a cold piece of meat from the shoulder of mutton, pork, or beef chop.
Oh.
When the host felt it was time for the guest to leave.
All right.
This was a polite way to communicate, you may leave now.
Take this food. Get the fuck out of here.
This is why every time I want to wrap a show up, I hand you guys cold pieces of shoulder meat. Come on, guys.
It also seems kind of
Man, I got a couple articles.
in a weird way.
It starts with well, guys.
Yeah. No, yeah, it does start with well, guys. We got time though.
I got to
go
work
for a little bit.
You were saying there, Niish? Sorry, everyone was talking over you.
I let it go. I'm not even sure. I'm bullshitting with y'all, okay?
That's
in and out, baby. In and out.
That's exactly how my brain works. It just spews out. Nothing's
You
retained.
hear the one about the cannibal? Do you hear the one about the cannibal who showed up late for the dinner party?
No.
They gave
Is
him
this a joke?
They gave him the cold shoulder.
Ooh.
Oh, look at that. That's synthesizing. All right.
Something like that.
Fired.
Was it? I think we talked about the dress to the nines before. Jerry knew kind of what that meant, right? Something about dress to the nines.
Yeah, I think I was on the last.
I do know what it means.
To the nines.
I don't think you talked about it. It used to take a full 9 yards to make it the nicest kind of suit. So you need 9 yards of source material.
Mm-hmm.
9, the master number 2. Of
course.
Tesla.
Tailors are just, fabric masons.
Go
I agree, definitely.
go the whole 9 yards to try your best at something. During origin, during World War II, the fighter pilots were equipped with 9 yards of ammunition. When they ran out, it meant that they had tried their best at fighting off the target with the entirety of their ammunition. You know that?
Go the whole 9 yards. As long as it can happen in 3 minutes and under, we're good to go.
Oh, now you're talking my language, Nish.
All right. Hard and fast, Grim. We've always talked this. Hard and fast. Let's take care of business.
just get it done.
I'm ready. You're ready. Let's just move on with this.
Stick and move.
Stick and move.
Hit and run. Hit and run.
Does that have something to do with blue velvet or what is it? Blue
brass monkey?
Oh, no. See, blue velvet's like the opium. That's an experience. You don't have to perform it. That's just a beautiful, loungy aesthetic.
Yeah, they should bring opium dens back.
Yeah, that's the thing though. And what
Speaking of blue velvet,
earlier, I don't know about
what color robe is Felix wearing?
It is blue, isn't it? Is that velour?
it's velour.
Is it velour or is it terry?
I couldn't tell you.
It's terry.
It's kind of terry-ish.
Now we're on to fabrics.
Rub the wrong way.
Okay.
Dude.
I don't know.
You don't want to hear it?
It's because somebody.
No, I mean,
cats.
Sounds abrasive.
Yeah, cats and autistic people who rub cats the wrong way. just pet cats backwards.
They didn't have autism back then.
No, they just put dunce caps on them. Come on.
Oh, okay, this is early America. Put yourselves in early the time frame of early America.
No, thank you.
During the colonial times,
I'm there.
They would ask their servants to rub their oak floorboards the right way. The wrong way, not wiping them with dry fabric after wet fabric, would cause streaks to form and ruin it, leaving the homeowner annoyed. Alternatively, it could have derived from rubbing a cat's fur the wrong way, which annoys it.
Man, this one's loaded. This one is loaded.
I heard someone say that cat familiars were used by witches. They would rub the fur the wrong way, and they would get energy from the static that was built up in the cats. And they would power some kind of spells with that energy.
You don't want to rub a pussy the wrong way.
So it's
That's
a
for sure.
grim. Again, grim steak. Bringing it home, Daddy. Bringing it home.
Well, he's not wrong.
He sure as hell's not.
Did we talk about beeswax last time?
I don't think so.
Minding your own beeswax?
No. Oh wait, yeah, I think we did. It was something about bee farmers or something. Maybe
No, I
not.
don't think we talked about it.
Maybe I'm just.
Well, give us a refresher then, Cliff.
Yeah.
Seems like you're loaded and ready to shoot.
Well, I didn't write this. I didn't research this. This is just here for me to read. Mind your own beeswax. Now, honestly, many may think that this is simply a coined phrase mimicking the more common and literal phrase, mind your own business.
That's what I thought.
That's what you thought?
Yeah.
Yeah. However, it turns out that this has a more defined origin. Apparently, in the days before Stridex and Claricel, ladies would use a thin layer of beeswax to smooth their complexion where they had severe acne. There were actually several phrases that came from this practice. If a lady looked too long or stared at another lady's face, they might say, mind your own beeswax. If the woman were to smile, it might crack the veneer of beeswax on her face. Thus, the phrase, crack a smile. Also, the phrase, losing face, came from when a girl would sit too close to the fire and the beeswax would melt.
Whoa.
Wow. I wish we would go
3 and 1.
to
Damn.
that. Wouldn't that be awesome now? So you could actually see what, some of these people that are always so covered up with makeup, what they really look like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's just beeswax. That's.
Dude, that is awesomeness. I love that one. That one is great.
We talked about arm and a leg. We talked about that.
You have tarnation?
No, I don't see tarnation.
Like what in tarnation?
No, I'd have to look that up. Do you know what that means?
No, I don't.
I'm curious about that one too. It's a common.
Yeah, it's common around here.
Yeah.
The South.
Yes, right. In the Midwest.
Latin tarnation.
Yeah. And in
What
the
does that
South,
mean?
you're right, Leo. Leonidas.
Oh, Saved by the Bell. You guys probably know what that means, right? Saved by the Bell.
Zach Morris.
Yeah, but where the origins are from that?
School?
I think death.
I got nothing. Fill me in.
You got to know this. When you're Saved by the Bell. Is he there?
Yeah, I think it's a fighting reference, boxing, right?
No.
You get knocked out, but the bell rings before the count.
That's a good one, Jared.
That's what you use it for.
Seems
but
logical.
No, that's where it came from, I thought.
I think it has something to do with coffins, and when you get buried, they'd tie like a string to your
yes.
coat.
Yes, it's Victorian.
Mm-hmm. To make sure that, like, if you did have like a false death, that you could ring the bell and they'd exhume.
So then why did you ask me if you were just gonna,
I thought you'd know it.
Just when I hear those sweet pipes, Jared.
All right, I got a couple of stories of high strangeness we can taper off with.
Bring it up, James.
All right, man.
Taper off.
Well, I mean, I just
like a turd.
Yeah, man. Just pinch one off.
Just pinch it off.
Right.
Pinch it off.
Do you know why turds are tapered at the end?
I mean, these might take a minute to discuss.
No. Why are turds tapered at the end, Jared?
So your asshole doesn't slam shut when they come out.
Oh, that makes sense.
Fuck you!
I used to get pinch one off and rub one out totally wrong, and I've used them to switch them before.
Oh man,
and
you gotta go pinch one
around me corrected me, so I would be joking like, haha, did you rub one out after they came out of the bathroom? And it's the joke's on me, of course.
Unless you have Taco Bell and it just runs out.
Wow.
Dude. Blowing it up. Okay, James, what you got?
No, I got one.
Might get triple for that.
To kind of to like the high strangeness of the cryptid scenario. This was just like a day ago. Someone posted something on Reddit here, but I saw a flash of fur and skin. I saw a blur of something that seemed familiar, but at the same time, it was scary and strange. I saw something that had the size and mannerisms of a monkey, but moved like a cat, but it was a blur. It was too fast to be a cat, too fast to be a monkey. So they asked, I was wondering if anyone living in the Great Plains area, what would that be, like Idaho or something?
Maybe like Idaho or something.
Great Plains area has seen this creature, especially on rural dirt roads. Nebraska, I know what I saw. I tried to put it into words, but cat monkey was the only thing I could come up with. The person driving saw the creature as well, but said it was probably a cat. He can tell himself tales about the 90 mile per hour cat that crossed our paths that night. We were doing at least 70 on a dirt road in the rural Great Plains area. Has anyone else seen this on dirt roads late at night in the Great Plains? And actually, someone did respond. That's the thing. It moved like a monkey, not an ape, on all fours like a cat, but with more speed. Its tail in the air for balance, like most of animals in the animal kingdom. So something really fast is hauling ass out in the Great Plains area if you ever see it.
Weird.
It's like
Nebraska,
is it one of those the devil cat?
Devil cat, dude.
I like that.
I mean, something, monkey
That's
cat.
crazy. Nebraska is my least favorite state down here in the state.
There ain't much out there, right? I mean,
it's the worst to drive through. It's so flat and forever. It is so uninspiring.
Kansas is worse.
No, I disagree. I totally disagree.
Really?
Yes, I've driven through it all so many times. Kansas is Kansas agree. It's maybe my second, but I think Nebraska, Jesus.
I mean, you do have the Wizard of Oz Museum in Kansas, though.
Right? Well, they're definitely, I'm sure,
and the giant gopher.
Good things going on with roadside stuff, but
damn.
What else?
You Jesus
got,
signs.
Well, you were talking about Bigfoot earlier, and so in 2017, they released, the CIA released millions of documents in a batch or whatever, they release them once in a while. So, and this was some things that were going on in Nepal, and the CIA had conducted research in all sorts of paranormal and otherwise anomalous phenomenon ranging from psychic abilities to UFOs. So at one point, they said that they were they revealed that the U.S. intelligence agency even once took part in the legendary Yeti in the mountains of Nepal. Whether the elusive abominable snowman ape was ever found, they didn't know. But reading this article, though, it seemed like more of like a cover, like to get CIA assets into that area to like take it serious, we're gonna go study, we got reportings of this thing, because at the time this was in like what did it say here? I want to say in like the 60s. Yeah, no, this was in. So the document discovered was from 1959. The American Embassy in Kathmandu to the Department of State in Washington. Regulations governing mountain climbing expeditions in Nepal related to Yeti. So, and then description went on saying that they needed a mountaineering scientific expedition. So it was royalty of RS 5,000 India currency will have to be paid to His High Majesty's government in Nepal for a permit to carry out the expedition for Yeti. In this case, Yeti is traced and it can be photographed or caught alive, but it must not be killed or shot at except in an emergency situation out of self-defense. All photographs taken of the animal, the creature itself, if captured alive or dead, must be surrendered to the government of Nepal at the earliest time. News and reports of throwing light on the actual existence of the creature may be submitted to the government of Nepal, and as soon as they are available, and must not anyway be given out to the press reporters for public for publicity or without permission of the government. So, basically, during that time in the 1950s, the CIA and they were deeply concerned about the spread of the Chinese communist forces throughout the region, as the Chinese were actively asserting their presence along the border of Nepal. It could be that the Yeti home was actually a cover for spies to keep tabs on the PRC's activities in the region. It's known, they're known for dropping terms in like scientific expositions as a cover to send agents into the field. So that possibly is easily what that could be.
I got a synchro here. I actually have it. I've had a document up since the beginning of this podcast, a CIA document. It's called the Scientific Approach to. I don't know if this is how it's pronounced, but Qigong.
Qigong, yeah.
And so-called paranormal.
Yeah, Qigong is chi energy, prana, same thing.
Yeah. So in this document, it's like Qigong is a martial art. Sorry, 490 or 4,900 words in this, but the introduction it states that Far East and especially in China have preserved to this day's many useful skills and practices developed and perfected over millennia, and that only now are gaining recognition in the West. So this document goes through all this research, and I guess this is was this a FOIA request, or was this something they just released? It looks like approved. It says approved for release in 2000. This was an official CIA document.
Did this come out of Project Stargate?
I'm not sure. This was posted somewhere. I picked it up. I can here. Let me do this. This is from the CIA.gov site. Let me post the. I'll post it in the chats real quick. If you got time? You want to read it?
Let's see.
I'm pretty busy right now. Pretty busy making
bag fucking memes. Bagjobs.com, black-eyed grannies.
Oh no.
Where are you posting them, Joe?
That's gotta be
they're in the NSFW channel.
I really do not want to offend Amanda. Sorry.
Dude.
Not safe for women.
Have to check.
Not safe for women.
Wait. But I mean, I am, but I don't qualify, so it's safe for me.
This is one of the
I
guys.
don't identify. Sorry.
Yeah, she'll totally dig them. They're great.
Yeah, right. I'm there.
I don't know. You were talking about Sasquatch a little bit earlier, and I watched this 2006 animated film. It's computer animated film called The Legend of Sasquatch. It's on Amazon right now, and it's very like it's a family movie, but it's. I think they mentioned something about the guys who did like Lord of the Rings animation did something with it.
Ralph Bakshi. Yeah,
maybe. But the pacing of it's like super slow, and there's some really like trippy things, and the animation looks kind of like what's the song? I Want My MTV.
Yeah,
Dire Straits.
Dire Straits. Yeah.
Oh, that blocky.
But they made it in 2006.
Gator Girl.
But as I was watching it, all I could think is like very meditative and how they like one person will say something and they say it real slow, and then someone like two seconds later there's a response. And the Sasquatch in here, they have like a totally different interpretation of what Sasquatch looks like, and you'd have to see it to kind of know.
It looked like a Lego Bigfoot.
Kind of like more like kind of fluffy, and they look kind of like stuffed animals, so it's pretty harmless. And
like the abominable snowman, but brown.
Yeah,
I got something to tell you guys before we finish.
One last thing.
Hurry up.
But I don't want to ruin it. But there's a part where the adult Sasquatches, Sasquatchi,
Daddy Bigfoot.
They puff themselves up and they can actually fly. And it's funny how they fly. They look like
so they could fly. They throw a whole new freaking level.
Yeah.
into that.
Damn, they got new power in there.
Yeah.
Bigfoots are satellites.
You gotta watch. I recommend watching because it's like there's some really
So check this out. I stumbled on this TV show from 2014 called Constantine. It was one season on NBC. I told you guys a few weeks ago about it.
Yeah.
There's an episode where, and he's got an angel that hangs out with him or looks over him or whatever.
I enjoyed that show, Jerry.
It was good. I noticed in one episode, the angel, Constantine does this ritual and pulls the angel into a human body. And or makes him human for something, and he can die. And he's never been in a body before. And the person into the body that he was put into was the doctor in a hospital who's having an affair with one of the nurses. And the nurse pulls him into a closet, and they screwed around in there. And he'd never, done that before in a body. And the feelings are like tripping him out and shit. And he goes outside and he's trying to tell Constantine about it, and Constantine tells him to chill out and do what thou wilt.
Oh man,
I just thought that was really. He's telling an angel that,
I wondered what happened to that show. I was watching it when it was out, and I didn't even think about it until now. But I wonder why it didn't get picked up again. I thought it was pretty good.
The character has moved on to DC's Legend of Tomorrow, and now he rides the Wave Rider, and he fixes timeline fuck ups.
Okay.
Magical creatures are loose in the multiverse, and they gotta hunt them down.
Wave Rider. We got one of those at Kalahari here. So you take those little boogie boards.
You gotta watch the show.
Little waves.
If you like time travel, it's a pretty good show. And it's on Netflix.
I hate time travel. Hate it with a passion.
James, you got a final story?
Sure, man. Scientists discover a mysterious new communication mechanism in the brain. I think this is the hidden gem that we were
That's
always
my story.
I just read this one.
Kind of searching for, right? So
microtubules.
Well, it's this study. Researchers studying the brain have stumbled upon a mysterious, previous unknown form of neural communication that has stunned the scientific community. Despite major scientific breakthroughs, the brain largely remains a mystery. And a team from Case Western Reserve, which is in Cleveland here, had added to it in their latest paper, self-proclaiming wireless communication they encountered that can jump across different sections of the brain. So that's pretty insane, dude. Like they observed low-level, slow periodic activity in the brain of decapitated mice by studying slices of their hippocampuses.
So what? What are they going to do with it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've known about these waves for a long time, but no one knows their exact function, and no one can believe that they could spontaneous propagate, says neural bioengineer, blah, 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 from Case Western. And
what if it's like quantum entangled?
It was jaw-dropping moment for every scientist that we told about this so far.
I think that I got the feeling like they were going to work on the nonverbal communication aspect with it.
Yeah, this is like
the telepathic stuff.
Yeah, thought to speech. Scientists say that their AI can read out what happens in your brain. So, like you were just saying, like I think these these neurons fire. They can create a weak electrical field, which they can be observed on an EEG.
What if that's your body's interface to your non-local consciousness?
Well, there's all kinds of theories around that. I saw that there's an abstract for one of the science journals that is talking about this as well. But there was chatter around that with in the crime aspect of it, where people who've died suspiciously and getting a neural read of what they last experienced.
Oh man.
Right? craziness.
It's like the Wild Wild West. Then they do that.
They put their head up on a projector or something and project it through their eyes. Yeah, it'd be just
the
like
last
that.
thing they saw. Yeah.
But they did something like that in Fringe.
Yeah,
with the eyes, the retinal stuff.
Yeah, it's always through the eyes.
Yeah, they're onto it though in science. Of course, aren't these shows giving us all the realities?
Yeah,
they're
that's true.
Reality to us.
Yeah, you're right on. Yeah, I mean, it's like
Maybe TV has replaced the storytellers.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And then
our
also
new Bible
what,
stories.
what Jared talks about a lot about how all this on the internet's kind of becoming its own sentience, its own thing.
Already is.
Yeah. Through all of this.
So they're saying that also like and more nefarious idea to it is like the biohacking and memory black market. So cybersecurity, experts warn of imminent risk of neuro implants.
Yes,
we're heading towards Chiba City, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
These are crazy
We're going to
times.
Neuromancer. We're going in the Neuromancer future.
If we're not in a Matrix reality right now, we are headed towards it for real.
For real.
For fucking real.
We will be. Yeah. Oh man.
Well, you can already buy a digital land.
They're just going to come up with that because they can't go to space anywhere. So.
Dude, I've got a digital dick. It's coming for you, Grimstick. It's coming for you, baby.
I'm waiting for it.
You're going to get 8-bit fucks.
I'm going to get a big ins, too.
Fucking right in the pussy.
Going for that.
Can you take an 8-bit cock?
8-bit cock. It's coming.
Oh man,
dude, I got one more that's related to the brain power. Okay, so life imitates Akira. So the NSA's fear of psychic nukes. This is like from a couple years ago, but I thought it was pretty cool story. So in NSA memo from 1977, it's almost like a scientific, science fiction plot, but like, so they declassified a classified government document opens with an odd sequence of events relating to parapsychology has occurred within the last month, including an alarming question about psychics nuking cities so that they become lost in space and time. Yeah, so wouldn't that be like the whole
I don't think I heard that right, James. Can you
it's an NSA fear of psychic nukes. So an agency wondered if 10 psychics could cause a chain reaction that would cause a city to become lost in space and time, which sounds fucking nuts. So yes, and it's basically sounds like something out of a science fiction movie, and it was in a memo from 1997 from the NSA. So the first ever event raised by the NSA note is a CIA report which mentioned the KGB research into parapsychology. According to this, KGB used hobbyists and non-governmental researchers to talk to Western scientists. This allowed the KGB to collect useful information without putting themselves into a position to accidentally leak confidential information to Westerners. They classified it as like high-grade Western scientific data. So the next the next event described the NSA's note was what appeared to be a Russian provocation through exactly what sort of matter of some debate. In 1977, the journalist was a U.S. journalist was detained in Russia for receiving a Soviet paper on parapsychology. The paper allegedly documented PSI for psychic particles with living cells, allegedly provided the physical basis for parapsychology. This struck American intelligence as being a form of entrapment. Although their goals were uncertain, some thought it was an effort to provoke radio chatter with the Soviets to get a chance at a better idea of what the U.S. interests in their activities. Although a theory was that it was simply a warning to the West to stay away from the sensitive Soviet research. A third theory that it was a double-think ploy to pretend interest in a clumsy manner to make us think that they were really just a deception. It was really just a deception to trick the West into believing that there was interest when there really was nothing going on, like this article. While while this last theory might sound paranoid, or this is how denial and deception operate, and it's something that Russian counterintelligence has long excelled at. The section, oh man.
I think we get the gist of it.
Heck yeah.
Well, no, like here's where
Dude,
it
I'm
comes
just looking at sweet pictures of 70s art on vans right now. It's pretty awesome.
This section concluded with the note that there had supposedly been a successful demonstration of telekinetic power in a Soviet military sponsored research lab. Alleged the discovery of a new type of energy, perhaps more important than that of atomic energy. The third event was some physicists, along with famous evolutionist Theodore de Chardin, that more of a great thought than a great machine, according to unified field on ground of reality. This sucks. This is too crazy.
Well, guys,
the psychic energy thing holds a lot of weight, and a lot of people have been talking about it for a long time. I feel like that's a whole Cruise and Mistake show topic.
Yeah, this is too crazy. Yeah,
psychic energy, and we could dive into like Esther Harding's work.
James loves to bring up the deepest subjects ever right at the end of the show.
Right at the end, dude.
Like cliffhangers, but that should be a topic. I'd love to be on for that too.
Heck yeah!
All right, well, we'll do that.
I thought you guys
research this better.
I thought you guys were doing Yuga cycles today.
Unicycle?
We'll do that next week.
I've got a bunch of stuff on cycles.
We'll call that next week's show. So
all right, we'll go on the cycles.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Energy.
Thanks. That's why I need reminders about these things.
Wait, so it was going to be the cycles tonight, and then
it went to Black
Eyed. So funny and Cruise and Mistake. You never know what you're going to get.
Last week it was supposed to be Yuga.
Well, Leonidas released his movie today, so we got to get him on.
Plug
it. We got to do that.
But still, like, I just always get contact high up in here.
That's good. That's the vibe we go for.
It's like the mystery wagon.
Exactly. It's like those pictures of the vans that I just posted in Cruise and Mistake Discord.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, guys. Oh hey, I almost forgot. A big shout out. We got a little tiny donation from Emilio. I can't pronounce your last name, but whoever you are out there, you didn't leave a note or an email, but thank you.
Emilio, thank you.
Yeah, little tiny guys. So hey, people do care, and that's what I love. So yeah, thanks for listening, guys. Nish, Jerry, who you guys got on tomorrow night?
Nobody.
Thursday. We have next Wednesday's Thursday.
Thursday this week. I'm taking my birthday off.
Oh, well, who you got Thursday? And Jerry, happy birthday!
Thank you.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
Oh, John Rasmus.
Yeah,
that'll be pretty good. That'll be a good show.
Rocking.
Can't wait to talk to
him.
Right on, Mr. Corners of Rooms.
Leo, where can everybody find the new short movie?
You can find it on housebythevideostore.com, or you can go to youtube.com/housebythevideostore.
And it'll be in the show notes too.
Yeah.
And then Felix, thanks for the music. Watcher, Nish, Jerry, love you guys.
That's
what are you saying?
That's not House with a Z, right?
How's by the video store?
No,
There's Z on everything, and we're cool. We're cool.
House.
All right. Thanks for listening,
guys. Thank you, guys. This was great.
Yes, thanks. Everybody have a great night out there.
Peace, love, and light.
Yes. Peace, love, and light. Goodbye.
Somehow I built a rocket ship out of the stuff dreams are made and popsicle sticks. Please look at my rocket ship schematics. Tell me you can fly to the moon. Tell me I'm not a lunatic. I bet you think I'm a space cadet. I bet you think I'm a space cadet. No regret, I do not fret, 'cause I am a space cadet. In my hands I have a gas can and matchsticks. Yes, Earth is my home, but I need a vacation from all the sadness, the chaos, and dramatics. I'll let you do the countdown, 3, 2, 1, no hesitation. I bet